Hey, what's up, everyone? In today's video, I am going to break down how you can pass the real estate exam on your very first try. So stay tuned. All right, Hiljin Sabangan here. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I am a brand new real estate agent in Silicon Valley, 2 years coming September. And I am sharing all of the things that I done my very first year that led to 9 closed deals and about $140,000 in net income. So if you're a brand new real estate agent, please like and subscribe. I will be sharing a lot of the knowledge that I did my very first year, that I used, my very first year, and hopefully it can help you see success as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and get right into the video. All right. So step number one, guys, is to not put too much emphasis on understanding or reading all the materials on the pre-licensing courses. As a premise, guys, I didn't pass my very first try. It took me 2 tries to pass the exam. Again, these are kind of the things that I wish I had told myself. And I believe, looking back at it, if I had done these things differently, I for sure would have passed the very first time. So one big thing that I did was I put too much of the emphasis on reading everything verbatim, and I tried to retain all of the information as much as I could, and that just led to a lot of stress. And after taking the test twice, I realized that there's just no way to be able to put all of there's just no way to ask questions with all that material in every single course. The test is only 150 questions, and they're really only going to give you specific questions that can pertain to things that are applicable to the real estate world. So there are a lot of things that you're going to read in the chapters in each course that you're going to read, and it's going to just it'll probably be the first and last time you're ever going to read about that. um, because when it comes down to real estate, guys, is you don't it's cool to be able to demonstrate your knowledge, your expertise, but when it comes to actually working with clients, the thing that they really want is they want to like you and they want to trust you, and it's because you are bringing value to their life. And the value, a small part, it depends on each client, but a small portion of that is going to be because you understand things like an encyclopedia, right? It's good to know that in the beginning, but when it comes to actually keeping clients and growing your business and getting referrals and turning clients into raving fans, it's because of your personality, and it's because that you demonstrate that you are trustworthy and you are a good person, and then you brought value to their life, and that's the reason you become a good real estate agent. So yeah, so don't put too much stress again on yourself. Really, that's the bottom line. um, Understand the vocabulary. That'll probably be the most effective way to be able to extract information and use it to actually pass the exam. Understand the vocabulary, learn how to apply the vocabulary to certain situations in real estate. Um, and that's all you really need. Really, that's all you're really going to need when it comes to passing the exam. So, onwards to step number two. All right, I say step number two, but I really mean tip number two. Okay. So, tip number two, guys, is to actually schedule your exam no more than 4 weeks after you finish your last final course exam. That was the biggest thing that was the biggest issue for me, is I didn't take the exam until I think 4 or 5 months after I finished my last course. And the reason being, guys, was because of COVID. So I had scheduled my exam at the heart of COVID back in 2020, 2019, 2020. And what had happened was lockdowns just occurred. So the state actually they canceled my exam. I wasn't able to take it, and I had to reschedule. And the next date wasn't actually until like 3 4 months after my initial test exam, because obviously the heart of COVID was rough for everyone. Everyone was taking it super seriously, as they should. But naturally, right? Uh, I was I put a real big emphasis on reading the books word for word, and I forgot all the information. There's too much information in there, and just led me to forget everything. um, so when I did take my exam, I ended up missing it by 1 point, which really sucked. uh, and it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking. The, the things about the thing about taking the exam too, guys, is there's only specific cities that you could take it. In California, in Northern California, there's only two cities that are close by. One is in Oakland and one is in Sacramento. And I live in San Jose, so um, I ended up having to take it in Sacramento because the Oakland location, which is about an hour closer, the Oakland location didn't have any test exam availability until like further out. So I'd probably have to wait another like 6 months to be able to take that exam. So I opted to take it in Sacramento. First try, it's a 2 hour drive. It's super early in the morning. You have to get up and sit in your anxiety driving to the test site. And, you fail and it's like, dang, all that. It's just so inconvenient, guys. So you want to be able to, you always want to be able to pass your very first time. And, a good way to do it is to actually take it at a reasonable allotted period of time after you've actually, put all the work to study, all the vocabulary and all the courses. I think 4 weeks is a good amount of time to give yourself to actually like dive into really prepping for the exam, learning how to actually take the exam. And yeah, not too much cramming, right? But just gives you like a good pace to be able to prepare accordingly. That's step number two that I wish I had told myself. All right, guys, final tip. And this is the big kahuna. This is the biggest tip that I think even if you don't follow the first two, you don't follow the first two advice or tips, this is going to be the one that could still get you over the hump. And it's to take a crash course. So my first time I didn't take a crash course and I failed. The second time I took a crash course and I passed. And it was really that simple. The crash courses are so valuable because it teaches you how to take the test. It teaches you how to look at each question and to dissect it and to understand like exactly what they're asking so that you could actually, decipher it and deduce how to answer the question or how to find the correct answer to each question. It's so invaluable, guys. um, Again, and what I mentioned is if you take a crash course and if there's one tip that you follow, this is the tip that you follow, is to take a crash course. I took mine on Chamberlain Real Estate School. It was online. And it was actually a live Zoom class. So it was great. It was a weekend course. It was super long. I think it started at 8 a.m. and it finished till 5 p.m. So it was very, very long, and it's a true cram session. The study tools that they give you, the guides that they give you, some of the questions that they ask in the actual crash course are verbatim questions that you'll find in the actual exam. It's great to be able to have that kind of prep, right? It's so invaluable. You just come out so confident because step number one, what I said was over to not overstudy essentially, right? With each course, what happens with these crash courses, they give you exactly they actually give you the materials that you should study. So, all of your brain power, all your like memorizing real estate is actually used effectively, right? You're not wasting energy. You're not wasting memorizing room in your memorized space in your brain on things that are not going to be on the test, right? And it's huge. The study guides that they give you as well are great things to be able to just kind of go over as summarizations of things. the days before your actual exam. And the way that they do it is the crash courses are on weekends, right? A Saturday, Sunday. And typically you don't take your exam until like the following weekend. So that gives you enough time to be able to, again, go over the summaries, go over the flashcards, so that you could actually pace yourself and not overstress come your actual test date. And another thing about these crash courses, guys, is they give you a guarantee that if you don't pass, you could actually retake the crash course for free until you pass, unlimited amount of times. So, I mean, money well spent. So yes, these are the 3 tips that I would wish I had told myself before I actually took my test the very first time. Again, if you take if you take all 3 of these tips, there's a high percentage. Like I give yourself like a 95, especially if you take it seriously. There's pretty much no way that you're not going to pass your very first time. But there is one of the tips that I highly recommend you take is to take the crash course, because that's going to be the most invaluable thing, as I always mention. It's going to help you. It's going to help you definitely finally get that real estate exam or a real estate license, and you'll be on your way to making 6 figures your very first year. And that completes the video, guys. If you liked it and you found value, please like and subscribe. I will continue to bring out content for brand new realtors or for aspiring realtors. But if there's anything else that you want me to talk about, please comment below. I am happy to come up with this content and bring it to you, and hopefully help you become the best realtor in your city or state. So yeah, Hiljin, Sabangan, I'm out. Next video. Bye.